Next game on the calendar, opening day. It's here. 3 days away, less than 72 hours from games that count. The Mets finished off their spring training slate on Monday, and how apropos, in games that don't matter, where the points mean nothing, like it's whose line is it anyway rules, the Mets and Yankees tied at 6. And how apropos that Juan Soto's first game against his former club in a game that didn't count ended in a tie, and ended with the biggest crowd in the history of Port St. Lucie. 8,088 fans packed out Clover Park, and boy, was it a beautiful sight to see. This is Mets Daily. I'm your host, Jake Brown, at Jake Brown Radio. Make sure you smash that thumbs up right now on YouTube. We appreciate your support. Subscribe to Mets Daily. Share the channel. We are locked and loaded for the season. You're not going to want to miss Mets Daily. We will have live shows. We will have giveaways. We will have chances for you to be on the show, for you to watch the game with me, super chats, membership, all sorts of fun things are coming to Mets Daily once the season kicks off on Thursday when Clay Holmes and the New York Mets go to Houston. And you kind of got an excitement on Monday seeing a lineup that's really what the Mets lineup probably is going to be against left-hand pitching or against right-hand pitching. And they did that against Marcus Stroman. Pete Alonso homering. How about facing Devin Williams once again? Did he have any deja vu seeing Pete Alonso homer to right field, almost exactly where he hit the homer in Milwaukee that saved the Mets season in the wild card round? Well, you got a little sprinkle, but now you could take 2 days, refresh. Hopefully tomorrow we have the locked-in roster, which I will wait to react to till we see it. There's a couple of interesting moves. We know some, but there's 1 or 2 final roster decisions that we are waiting. That is the infield battle, which I want to talk about a little bit later in today's show, as well as the final bullpen spot. We expected to go to Max Kranick. Daniel Nunez was optioned at AAA. The Mets are going to get him more time to throw. He only made a couple of appearances. They want to get him some more innings in AAA. He'll be here at some point soon. Paul Blackburn's going to the bullpen. We'll talk about the rotation in a second, which is set. But it'll be maybe Max Kranick or Huascar Brazoban. We'll find out that either tonight, or if you're watching this tonight, maybe it came out. If not, we'll hear about it likely on Tuesday, what the Mets roster looks like. But, man, how about that? Getting to see Juan Soto against his former team. That was cool. And it finished in a tie thanks to Brandon Nimmo's game-tying 3-run homer. Good sign seeing these guys go deep into games, seeing a couple of them play full games. That was important. And we expect Brandon Nimmo to be the Mets starting left fielder when they go to Houston on Thursday. I mean, we're right there. There are no more meaningless spring training. The next game the Mets play, it'll count. They will either be 0-1 or they will most likely be 1-0 on the start of a special season. And once we have these rosters, I will also go through my predictions for the Mets and everyone else in baseball. We will do that tomorrow and Wednesday, so predictions are coming. Thursday, we'll do a pre-opening day show. We will do a live post-game show after the game on Thursday. So Thursday, we should have 2 shows reacting to the first game of the season. How about that media guide? You see it in the corner here? Beautiful. Nimmo, Lindor hugging each other. The true leaders of this franchise, along with Juan Soto now. Guys that'll be here a long time. That is an incredible picture. I believe that is from when the Mets won the first round, the NLDS. Lindor grand slam. Nimmo cries after the game. One of the most euphoric moments of my life being there. That was truly glorious. Some other news breaking items. One that I posted yesterday that ended up with over 500,000 or 600,000 views on Twitter. The Piazza Club. If you don't follow me, do that at Jake Brown Radio and follow the show at Mets Daily Show. Will be called the Heineken Club, the Heineken Diamond Club, the Heineken Diamond Club. So the Piazza Club, the Heineken Diamond Club. Now, before you all lose your minds, and many already have, the Piazza Club was not an ode to Mike Piazza. It was the Piazza 31 Club by True Vodka. True Vodka was Mike Piazza's vodka line. So either they are, I don't know if they're not doing well or Heineken outbid them or the lease was up, but it was tied to Mike Piazza because it was his vodka. So they were paying for the sponsorship. It's millions of dollars for the naming rights to a club. So I don't know the details of that. When I hear, I'll let you know if I find out about that. But I did find out that that is being replaced. It'll be the Heineken Diamond Club, and it looks sick. Go to my social media. You could check out what it looks like. Go to my YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube at Jake Brown Radio. But that club behind home where you might have gone to, hang out, may have gone during rain delays. It is now the Heineken Diamond Club. And a guy who will be on the mound, you might be watching from the Heineken Diamond Club, is Tyler McGill. The Mets have set the rotation for opening day and for the first two series and for the start of the season. We know the five guys in it. Paul Blackburn will come out of the bullpen, but the five guys are set. It'll be Clay Holmes. It'll be Tyler McGill, Griffin Canning, Kodai Senga, David Peterson. The one, not surprised, but the one guy we weren't locked in and weren't sure about was Tyler McGill. It is McGill cracking the rotation. Now, we could start looking at matchups, and here they are. Here's the Mets rotation. On Thursday at 4:10 p.m. on SNY, it'll be Clay Holmes making the opening day start. The times are very funky, so I wanted to put them in there because every day it's almost a different start time that you really got to set your calendars and really adjust. Friday, there won't be that off day after opening day. Friday will be 8:10 p.m., and that'll be Tyler McGill. The Mets going with the three righties to open up against that righty-heavy Astros lineup, and that game will be on Apple TV, unfortunately. I think we all hate those. We want SNY, especially early in the season. That'll be Apple TV, and you'll hear a familiar voice. It'll be old Mets radio voice Wayne Randazzo calling that game in Houston on Apple TV. Saturday, another SNY miss. It'll be Fox. So we had 2 out of 3 not on SNY to start the season, which sucks, but that'll be a 7:15 game on Fox. And Griffin Canning makes his regular season Mets debut for the Mets. Guy earned it. Had an absolutely magnificent spring. He earned a part of this rotation. We knew he was in it. It was just a question of it would be McGill or Blackburn, and the Mets go with McGill and keep Blackburn. Probably a long man, mop-up duty, get him in when they can to start it off. So it's those three righties. Sunday is the rare off day. They're going Thursday, Friday, Saturday with the off day Sunday. The schedule is bizarre. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Miami, it'll be David Peterson making his season debut Monday. That's at 6:40. Tuesday, 6:40 will be Kodai Senga making his season debut. And then a 4:40 p.m. getaway day in Miami. And likely, I assume that's Clay Holmes. Thursday is an off day. So they're not doing the Thursday opener, Friday off day, which leaves some wiggle room out the window if there is rain at Citi Field and there is inclement weather. So if that happens, I assume they do a doubleheader either Saturday or Sunday. Friday, 3:10 p.m. home opener, assuming it'll be Tyler McGill most likely. And then Saturday is a night game, 7 p.m. And then Sunday is a 1:40 p.m. game. So that's your schedule. That's your rotation for the New York Mets as we get you ready. You see my story there. I wrote about it for Mets on SI. There it is. About the last 2 rotation spots. I wrote about Daniel Nunez being optioned. Not too much of a surprise. He just didn't get enough work in. So it's likely Kranick or Brazoban cracking that final roster spot. And then we got to find out about the other final roster spot. Will it be Acuña, Matata, or do the Mets sign someone off the scrap heap? Now, Acuña has made some news because of what Francisco Lindor said. Listen, Lindor always says the right things. I didn't love that he said this publicly. I also think it's getting taken out of context. So this is via MLB.com, Anthony DeComo's story. He said, I think he plays bored in spring training. If the lights come on, then he's good. Last year in the minors, he was bored probably. He doesn't get amped up for it. He acts like he doesn't care. Lindor said of Acuña's current approach. And when you act like you don't care, yeah, you're bored. He's not putting everything he's got into it. It doesn't feel like he's being challenged. Now, I don't think he's wrong in saying that, and nothing he said is wrong. I also don't think it's the time for Mets fans to now be saying, he's lazy, get him off my team. This is Beatty's job. I never want to see Acuña. Go sign another infielder. I will say, if he doesn't end up making the roster, which I still think he does, it makes very little sense why the Mets didn't bring back Iglesias if Acuña is not making this roster with Jeff McNeil out. To me, I just think you want your best guys out there. I think Acuña is one of their best guys. In the end, let me say this. Luisangel Acuña has a brother that is one of the faces of this sport in Ronald Acuña. He's seen him tear up the league and be one of the faces of the league and make, an absurd amount of money. He has watched himself shine in the 2 weeks he played. He has watched himself be part of a playoff roster. He has seen himself at the top of the mountain in the big leagues in a playoff push, playing for the guy who made those comments in Francisco Lindor. So, in my estimation, Lindor is right, but I also don't think it's really a detriment like people think to Acuña. Some guys step up in big moments. It's hard to step up in the dog days of summer in boring upstate New York in Syracuse or on the road in some of these random minor league cities. Luisangel Acuña feels he should be part of a major league roster. And guess what? I think he should be too. So for the people knocking on him, I don't think it's the time to knock him. I still think he should be part of the roster. And once the games count, you're going to see who he is. If he's still getting picked off, if he's still making errors for this team, then you can make comments and you can say stuff. But for right now, now's not the time. Give Acuña a shot. And, he should be part of this roster. So let us know in the comments below. Do the Mets sign a scrap minor league, backup journeyman infielder, or is Luisangel Acuña getting that spot and playing against Framber Valdez on opening day when the Mets play the Astros on Thursday? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, smash that thumbs up on this video. We appreciate it. Subscribe to Mets Daily. Share the channel. Lots of content coming when the season begins. We're back tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow we have the roster. We can break it down. Whether Acuña made it, whether Brazoban or Chronic made it. We will have all that reaction. And Juan Soto, a New York Met, playing against the Yankees. What a beautiful sight. Take a sip of a DC. Take a sip. And get ready, because we are 2.5 days away from baseball that matters. We'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday, March 25th on Mets Daily, and we can't wait for real baseball on Thursday in Houston. Thanks for watching. I'm Jake Brown at Jake Brown Radio. We'll talk to you tomorrow.